Hey, coaches, welcome back to Big Rule the World. I know it's been a while. Again, I tell you, this virtual teaching, this hybrid teaching, guys who are in teaching, you know what I'm talking about. It's for the birds, man. It's got me busy between that and practice and getting ready for spring season. But I'm back today. My last episode, we talked about the curse word of football, which is the word fullback. And I'm going to give you 3 tips for using the fullback. I know the fullback isn't necessarily a lineman, and we love to talk about linemen here at Big Drew of the World, but I feel like the fullback's like a kindred spirit, a brother with us. So, first tip for using the fullback is the biggest one. What's old is new. Fullback-centric plays in the modern offense. So we're going to be talking about the power, the ISO, the fullback dive, the trap. Let's talk about the power real quick. Now remember, I'm going to get out here real quick. If you go back, it's weird opening up. I have a whole series right here on God's play, power. And when we talked about God's play, we talked about the power. 3 things. We had a down block, we had a kick out, and we had a lead on linebacker. Now, you're going to see me play around now. I'm going to disappear. And I'm going to go to my smart board and try to be loud enough y'all can hear me. So here we go. So if we're going through power, okay, I'm going to give you 4-3 start. We're going to use fullback in. Now, if you're going through your traditional gun offense, okay, whether you want to use the pistol or use the fullback, remember, we're going to have this down block, boom, boom, right here. We're going to have the kick. We're going to have the lead. I'd almost wrap him up to backside backer so you can get the read on the end. And now I'm using that fullback to give me the traditional power look. Okay? When I was at Chatham High School, this was called our dart play, and this would help us set up our offense. We use that fullback. It gives us sort of a GT counter scheme without using the tackle and pulling, because I didn't necessarily like using the tackle as much. I did that tackle to dip and scoop into backside backer. So now we have the guard kicking and the fullback wrapping. You can do it one of 2 ways, okay? That's what we would call, a go. You say a word that starts with a go, with a G, and that's what we would get the guard kicking, the H, or the fullback wrapping. You can call it a golf call. Okay, we got golf call, or we got a fog call, okay? Fog call, we're going to have the fullback go first, so I'm going to show you that. Let me do one. Okay. You do the same type of look at the fog call. Okay. I'd almost put this fullback now a little bit cheated inside the guard, maybe even other side of A gap, just to give you a different look. Because now, boom, boom, he's kicking, he's wrapping, and we still have the same blocking scheme. You've just given them a different look. And I think we all know about this. Okay, I've talked about this before. If you can do the same similar type blocking scheme, the only one of your big 5 that changed on that play is your backside guard. Yet you still get the same result. Keep it simple for the offensive line, man. That's a big thing. But you can use your fullback on power out of the gun. Okay, people don't think you can do that. ISO, isolating the linebacker. We can also work with belly. Going back in. Let's take a look at ISO. So, obviously, the easiest way we can run ISO. Give me a 4-2 start. Okay, we'll make it pretty basic. Okay, easiest way to run ISO right here, if you really want to, is run base block out. Okay, tell your play side guard to sort of take that play side defensive tackle whichever way he wants to go. Okay, if he goes B gap, cool. Our ISO is now an A gap play. Erase it. If he wants to go inside, the H-back's got to be an athlete. Now it's a B gap play. All right? Guys, you can even have fun with it if you really want to and use that H or that fullback. I know I wrote H. I should be writing F for fullback. I just want to give you fun things you can do with this extra player. Okay, if you really want to mess around here. All right. You can mess around with who's being the ISO block. I've seen teams before send the ISO on the linebacker. So if I wanted to have this F right here, kick right there, or have that guard take him and have the F influence block the linebacker. Okay, I put my F as a wing. I have my tailback ISO. I put my F as a tailback. I have him ISO. This is how I like to run quarterback ISO. We're going to go here, here. Take him anyway. And we just got an influence block right there. Okay, or when you have the tackle, dip, and rip, have the fullback cut off backside defensive end. And we can still run tailback ISO this way. Show you how to do that. I got one way I'm not going to show. Not going to put on film, but if you want to run ISO, you can do it this way. Run it like that. And now you're pulling guards the ISO man. So that's just a bunch of different ways you can run the ISO out of the gun. I love the ISO play. Fullback dive, okay? I got some film for this one. Do not forget your direct snap. Do not forget where you can put your fullback in the gun. Set up this scenario here. We're in overtime playing a team that vastly bigger athletes than us. You know, I can use every excuse in the book why we shouldn't be in this game, but we're 4th and 1 on 1 yard line. I actually subbed our tailback into this spot, but he's as big as a darn fullback. He was 230 pounds last year, and I put a guy that kind of looked like him back at tailback, but look like we're going to do here, okay? So we got an athlete at quarterback. We got a wing. We got what looks like a blocking back. We've been running quarterback sweep all night. You'll see there my fullback is set up just in the right A gap. This is what we call Cardinal. Left side we call it Cub. The two natural rivals, Cardinals and Cubs. So we're going to get motion. We're selling that we're bringing the sweep guy as a blocker. We're bringing this back as a blocker. Look at them. They're overloaded with like 4 guys outside the tackle right here. They're ready for us to come try to get to the edge. We tried to run inside zone before and got stopped. We're on the 1 yard line. We're down by 6. We need this. 4th and goal in overtime. We snapped it to the fullback. Just watch how easily he walks in. And we just wedge blocked it. Okay, that's a whole fullback wedge play. Trap. You want to run your trap game with the fullback? Again, I think you can do that Going back now. Going back to your fullback trap. Off of that counter look, now our trap is a little bit different for power because we don't have that lead block coming. Say we get this. We used to hit this one a lot with the fullback. You can call it fullback power. You can call it fullback trap. We call this 36-35G. Bang, bang. Actually, take that back. Got too many people. Come on back with it. This is a little bit wider than trap, so do with it what you will. I'll probably give us 4-3. Gonna leave defensive end unblocked. I actually used to just go. Way I would run this. Now, block the guard out. Bang. Tailback, quarterback, or influence an option. Hand to the fullback right there. That's how we'd run like 36G, 36 trap to our fullback. We'd run short, we'd run wide. We used to run wide more against if a team didn't take a guy out of the box. If a team took a guy out of the box versus us because we threw the ball more. Okay? Fullback trap. Passing game. Don't be afraid to use them in the passing game, guys. I was an air raid offense. I used mine. There's a little play. Like I told you, our GT counter was a big run play for us a few years ago. See if I can get this to go widescreen. There we go. Our GT counter was a big run play for us. So what are we going to do? Here's my little fullback back there. So we've sold everything. Boom, boom, boom. We've sold the handoff. He's slipping out the other way. And a nice little slip to the fullback. And when you know, he shows a little athleticism there. He was more of an athletic, could have been a running back type fullback. That's just it. And the other thing I was going to talk about with the tip number one, what about the I formation, guys? We talk about this all the time. If you just line up in straight I formation, keep some of your base run plays, but put them out of the I formation. How many teams, and it might be different in your area, I haven't seen I formation in a while, guys, aside from an occasional play. I formation's got some good stuff. Wing T's got good stuff. Air raid's got good stuff. Every system has some good stuff. What's wrong with putting a little bit of I into the game as long as it doesn't rob your offense? Okay, tip number 2, make it job specific. Train the job. Don't just use your tight end or your big running backs. Okay, train an actual fullback coach. Okay, tip number 3. I showed you several formations where you can move that fullback around, whether you're in the gun, whether you're in pistol, whether you're in, flexing him out like a wing. Move him around. I think we've gotten creative in the days with a tight end. Let's be creative in the days with fullback, okay? We can put him in different formations. We can put him around if we want to line him up as a wing, if we want to line him up in A-gap, B-gap, C-gap, whatever. We can slide him. We can trade him. We can do a ton of different stuff. And I'm telling you, it's going to mess with the defense's head and how they call their offense. So think about that. Don't overthink it so much where you're calling, you're telling your fullback where to line up specifically. Like, okay, he needs to line up in the opposite A-gap when we're running this particular run play. Don't get that wild where you pigeonhole yourself into that. Like if I only run fullback dive when my fullback is in the left A-gap, and that's the only play I run when my fullback is in the left A-gap, somebody's going to pick that up on film. Okay? So play around a little bit with it. move them around, do some fun stuff. And bonus tip, use the name Fullback. Make it sexy. Make it attractive. Reward your big guys, just like I say with offensive line. Hey, man, you got to sell it. I talked about bringing swag to the O-line. Bring swag to the fullback position. Guys, this is just a little series giving love to those fullbacks. They help us out. We help them out, okay? Remember, if you want to score big points, it's all about taking care of the trenches. I call that fullback a trench dog just with the offensive lineman, okay? If you win in the trenches, you win on the scoreboard. And you're going to win on the scoreboard and put up big points once you learn that bigs rule the world. I'll see you next time, coaches. I'm hoping to get on a more regular schedule. We're up close to 150 subscribers. I'm going to start putting out a weekly email with drills and skills once we hit 150 subscribers. So let's get us up to 150 subscribers. We're going to have a drills and skills email going out for anybody who wants to jump in on it. We'll have some different offers on that. The drills and skills email will be free. It'll have some links to some paid stuff you can get to help your offensive line coaching abilities. All right, for all you guys coaching Friday night, I'm jealous. For all you guys, for the 5-6 states that are still hanging out with me and getting ready for the spring, hey, man, we'll get through it together. See you next time, coaches.